Breezy 101, welcome into Good Morning Kosciuszko, a special guest. He is the music and culture ambassador of Mississippi. Boy, I never get tired of saying that. I wonder if Steve ever gets tired of hearing that, but it is our pal, Steve Azar. Steve, thanks for being on this morning.
Hey, brother, I'm good, man. I never get tired of hearing it either. It's been an honor, and it's just been wonderful to understand how art affects our economy in such a positive way. Obviously, we're all going through trying times right now. And it's really affected our business, but it's affected a lot of businesses. We're all going to come out of this thing together, and the world will eventually come back to visit us. They were coming in groves, man. It was pretty cool to be a part of watching that. So, yeah, the Music and Culture Ambassadorship, working with Craig Ray directly, who's our Director of Tourism, has just been an incredible experience for me, and something that I don't take lightly.
Last time we had you on, you were talking about One Mississippi, and that's been out for almost a year now. So what's that song really done for you here lately, especially with the upcoming project that we're going to be talking about too?
Yeah, well, I've been writing about home for a lot of years, and moving back home, it was just a ton of inspiration. Not just as simple as seeing a town's name that you used to roll through. Hearing your daughter say, "I'm going to name my kid Rosedale" when she rode through there, and it was just so inspiring, and couldn't help but write it, And then my daughter we were going shopping for dresses in Jackson for a prom when she was in high school, and she said, "Dad, what's midnight?" I said, "Midnight Louise." I've seen that sign 1,000 times in my life, and obviously gone to midnight. Probably when I shouldn't have gone to midnight growing up. And she said, by the time I'm out finding my dress, I need you to have written that song. And so I did. And it's been just, I can't explain, man, writing One Mississippi when Governor Bryant he was so inspiring, because such passion. And obviously it was our bicentennial year. He goes, "I need you to do this." I said, "I got it." So look, 20 years in Nashville and wanting to be able to write like I do now, about this place. I know people may be getting sick of me talking about how much I love it, but if it's not from Mississippi and where I grew up, there's no chance I write my first lyric. It's through osmosis and through the people and the characters of Mississippi and the personalities and all the different regions. So Mississippi is so unique. I mean, all of a sudden you feel like it's as simple as this. It's gospel, it's rock and roll, it's blues, it's country. So it's all these things, right, that created the birthplace of American music. Well, when you roll into each part of Mississippi, sort of parts, I call it, the 4 and 5 sections that sort of make us who we are. It's like rolling into each one of those genres of music, So been a blessing, and this new record, obviously, I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm living down here. I can't help it, but I'm really proud of this record. It's the name of the song coming out Thursday is Cold Water, that I did with Cedric Burnside. I called Cedric after I wrote it. And I said, "Would you do this with me?" I've admired Cedric for many years as a human being and as a musician and songwriter and artist. We got together and we're able to get into the Delta Music Institute. They let us get in with all the rules and regulations we had to follow with the masks, and we had to figure out how to record with just a few of us in there, and we were able to pull it off, and it's just really great. And that comes out Thursday. I think it's a shining example of what we're all of us as Mississippians, especially musicians, coming together through tough times, and that's what the song's about. So anyway, the name of the album is My Mississippi Reunion, a collection of past and new songs that's coming together to celebrate and eat some good food at the grand opening of the record, the release October 23rd. So between now and then, there'll be a few songs released: Rosedale, Midnight, and then we're gonna celebrate with a big October 23rd gathering. But this Thursday is when Cold Water comes out everywhere.
Cold Water coming out. Cedric Burnside, he's from up around Holly Springs, Mississippi area, and Grammy nominated, right?
Multiple times, and a couple times I know for sure. Also, the blues drummer 4 years in a row. He's just amazing. He was playing at 13 years old, was the drummer for his grandfather, R.L. Burnside. So he's, in a lot of ways, it's like Marty Stewart, the kid, 11, 12, 13-year-old kid, prodigies that were, and I don't use that loosely, I'm serious. They were that great at a young age, able to play with the greats. When Marty was playing with Lester Flatts, and now we're seeing Marty get finally recognized in such an important way for us, and I'm just so proud of him and what he represents. Being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, that's a big deal. That's so cool. and so well deserved.
We're speaking with music and culture ambassador of Mississippi, Steve Azar. Steve, before we let you go, I saw one of your buddies this weekend. He's from over around the Delta. He's a radio guy like me. I know you know Charlie Ross.
I love that man. Listen, when I grew up as a kid, that man was on stage killing it, still kills it. And he was on American Bandstand, for goodness sake. I mean, come on. A lot of people don't know that about Charlie. Charlie was an artist on American Bandstand years ago. I had success in Nashville and moved back home. I'm following his path and journey. Our successes were different and very unique in its own, but we both are. We finally got to talk about it on my in the Mississippi Minute radio show and podcast. I finally got to understand Charlie's upbringing and background, and it was just amazing to hear his story. And yeah, he's a dear friend, and I love that man. And I wake up in the morning, I jump from different stations, but he's one of the ones I listen to when I can, when I'm home and not traveling. But just FYI, we're not traveling anywhere right now. All shows in the music business have been canceled, so it's been a good time to reset and pivot, and it's actually been a good thing for me, just personally, as far as just really paying attention to the needs of my family. And I think that we're going to look back and see how families came together during this time. Hopefully, husbands and wives aren't driving each other crazy. I know my wife can only take so much of me, so she's hung in there through this time.
Kids getting back to school. I saw that you got your daughter sent back off to school. I saw it on the Instagram.
Back in Arkansas?
Yeah, Twitter, one of them things. But it's a crazy time for us all. But Steve, we do appreciate you making some time, and you still got the podcast going on. That hasn't shut down during Corona, right?
No, it's been really good. In the Mississippi Minute, Thursday, Fridays on Super Talk, 1 to 2 every day. It's late in my third year now, I guess. So halfway through my third year, and the podcast is everywhere. So that's been great, and it's been really wonderful to get to know people that I've known my whole life, but I haven't asked the questions. And everybody's been asking me questions my whole life, and I've never stopped to really ask and understand how people got to where they got, from celebrity to just working class. And the show has evolved into just every man and every woman's radio show. So it's been great telling those stories and being a listener,
Steve Azar, music and culture ambassador of Mississippi, new single coming out Thursday. It's called Cold Water, a part of My Mississippi Reunion. That album will be out October 23rd. Well, Steve, we always appreciate having you on the show. I imagine Lolly Dude might be calling you at some point. You can turn his call down if you want to. You don't have to talk to him. He's just Lolly Dude.
Tell Lolly Dude I got a tea time at 1.
Okay. I'll let him know.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Steve.
I bet. Take care.